What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone is having a fantastic night so far. We originally planned on going live around 8:30, but you know what? We have a very special guest, Ross. Why don't you introduce everyone who's listening right now who our guest is?
We have got one heck of a defensive lineman in the 2023 class here, guys. We have got Rueben Bain from Miami Central.
Hey, everybody.
Ruben, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, and you? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. It's a pleasure. Ross, tell the viewers about Rueben Bain Jr. and how great of a player he is, because in my opinion, he's one of my favorite talents in the class of 2023.
Absolutely dominant on the defensive line. All Rueben does is he shows up game after game after game and he produces. That is what he does. He has been an absolute nightmare for opposing offensive linemen, and he's actually getting stronger, faster, and better with his technique. So, I mean, the sky's the ceiling, bro. Seriously.
Thank you.
Ruben, and last time we spoke with you, you were putting up record numbers in the weight room. How has this offseason been for you? How are you getting ready for this upcoming season?
Just tweaking minor mistakes that I had during spring and last season, like things I could get better at. I would say, like my get off, staying low when I explode up the ball, shooting my hands, locking out, peeping over my shoulder, shedding blocks and everything. Just the minor things you could always get better at every day.
Absolutely. No, I love hearing that you're not trying to stay in a box. You're trying to get better, enhance, your skill set. If you're maybe lacking in some areas, you're trying to strengthen those areas and get better. And I love that, Ruben. And he comes from a great program at Miami Central Senior High School. Ruben, what does that orange and green mean to you? I know your uncle, Tolbert Bain, played at the University of Miami. What is it for you, growing up in Miami-Dade County and watching the Miami Hurricanes play on Saturday or Thursdays?
Growing up, it means a lot because, it's the school of my city, the city I grew up in. So it would be nice one day to just put on for my city and make Miami great, put it back to that bad boy standard that it was back in the days.
Ruben, what is your current height and weight right now?
Right now, I'm 6'3", 248 last time I weighed myself.
Okay. You're definitely adding some muscle there. So let our fans know here, Ruben, how did you like that trip to Miami? How did you like that visit?
It was nice. Had both having the cookout, then the unofficial visit that Sunday. It was nice just getting the connection with the coaches, recruits, and Manny Diaz and Coach Simpson.
What was the itinerary that weekend? Meeting the coaches, Coach Manny Diaz. Kind of walk the viewers through, what you did.
First with the cookout, I got there. We sat down for a little. Then around about 5 to 8 minutes while I was there, I met Coach T. Rob, and we went on a mini tour with me and two other recruits. After that, we came back and I introduced myself. Well, I got introduced to Coach Ed Patta and Coach Simpson. Then I spoke with Coach Simpson for about 15 to 25 minutes, and we was just sitting there chopping it up, laughing and everything. Then later on in the day, we played some like little games they had out there for us with the recruits and everything. We met the staff, went inside the auditorium, did another little tour and everything like that. And that was about it for the cookout. Then on the visit, I came back and actually had this. They hosted a O-line and D-line camp, and I was out there. I didn't participate because of an injury, but I was out there just to watch and listen to what Coach Simpson said. So as I was listening, I was just learning and everything like that. Then I came back to do my visit, and I was touring around campus with Coach Rob, and came back and took pictures and everything like that.
Very cool, man. That sounds like a great experience. And, that's the cool thing about, being a highly touted recruit like yourself, having these one-on-one experiences, with the coaching staff, being on campus, getting a little feel of what it's like to perhaps one day play for the University of Miami. Ruben, did you have a kind of a host current player at the University of Miami that you stayed with and you were able to kind of speak with and just pick their brain about, their time so far at the University of Miami?
As a current player, no, but I was walking around with Coach Pata almost the whole day.
How's
And,
Coach Pata, the relationship you have with him?
we're building it now since I first seen him in person at the cookout. So now we're communicating more, like almost every day and stuff since I've been there a few times now. So we're building that relationship, and he's making sure I'm talking with everybody on the defensive staff just so we can have a nice, strong relationship with me and Miami.
Ruben, what was your favorite part about some of the Miami facilities that you did get to see? Was there anything that really stood out to you that you really liked a lot?
I would say the new dorms that they're building. It's called Lakeside Village. How they had it set up with, I think all freshmen are in that building. So they had the bottom. The bottom of the Lakeside Village is filled with stores, a study room, I believe a weight room and a lounge, just like that for the freshman athletes. So that was pretty cool. Then they had the dorms and stuff on top of that, so you could go down and do whatever you want, like any time of the day. Then go up to your room, and it's all in less than 3 minutes. It's not that much walking, so I found that pretty cool.
Nice, man. Nice. Love hearing that. And I'm also kind of curious here. You said that you got a chance to really talk with Coach Simpson for a sec. Was there anything that Coach Simpson told you that really stood out to you?
Yeah, I would say that he's he told he was coming back since it's his first year back at Miami. He's really looking to turn like the defense around. Even though it was already great, he want to build it into like the next step. He want to make it even better and really make it that bad boy defense. And he was just saying how he wanted to use his D line, how he got such a great D line, which he does. So I'm just looking forward to see that in the future.
What's the itinerary for the rest of the summer? Are you going to visit other college campuses, Ruben, on the list?
Yes, but as of having the list right now, no, I don't have a list.
Okay. What other schools are actively, you're speaking with during this recruiting process that you built a good relationship with?
I would say Florida, Clemson, Florida State, Alabama, and just to think of another one, Mississippi State.
Wow, that's a pretty impressive list. I think, any recruit who has conversations with coaches and, will get offers from those list of programs. I think that speaks about how talented you are, Ruben. And I think, honestly, speaking with you, just getting to know you a little bit for the short time we have with you, I can tell you're going to be elite and a great player and a great person as well, whether it's on the football field or off the football field. I know you're going to do great things, Ruben. My last question I got for you.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is the second time we interview you, and we're always impressed the way you carry yourself. You're very, very mature and ahead of your time for your age. What's the expectation this upcoming season at Miami Central Senior High School?
Well, you already know the standard is going back to states and winning that.
Of course.
So, I would say the expectation is first, just starting off strong because we fly out to Cali to play our first game. So starting off strong, really? Coming back with the W. Yeah, I believe we played St. John Bosco.
Oh, yeah.
Then we come back. We have a bye week. Then we play Bishop Gorman that next week. So those two big games. So just the expectations for that is just having a good game as a team, not just me coming in with the W for 2 weeks. That's a good big way to start off the season. So that'll start off the season, get us rolling and everything. Then after that, we just blow through everybody. Expectations, having a shout out every game, that would be nice. We'd be the first team to do that in history. So that's just something we all want to do as a team.
Absolutely. Are you guys going to stay on the West Coast and just kind of, since you're going back to Vegas, right?
No, actually, Bishop Gorman is going to fly out to us. And
okay. They're coming to Miami.
No, we're gonna play in Naples.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
Naples. So that'll be like a neutral site game.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right, that's very cool.
Yeah, it actually is. I'm really excited for those 2 games.
Man, we can't wait to see what you guys got going this upcoming season, Ruben. I mean, we know you're going to shine, man. We know that you put in that work, and we know that you've got that skill to really, really shine. We're really excited about it.
Thank you.
Ruben, it was a pleasure to speak with you.
Pleasure having me. Thank you.
Whatever school you end up at, I know you bleed orange and green, your family does, but you're
Yeah.
going to be a star, man, at the next level. So I'm going to be rooting for you wherever you end up, whether it's at Miami, you go to Florida State, or Alabama, Clemson. You're going to be a star, man. So
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
All right, Ruben, take care, man. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. That was Rueben Bain Jr. Once again, Ross, what is your evaluation of Ruben for everyone that is coming a little bit late, wasn't able to hear from the beginning? Because he's going to be a star for the class of 2023, and he's going to be a must-get in Miami-Dade County. He already said he has offers from Clemson, Alabama, and Florida. Okay? They're coming to our backyard, and that's just the beginning. Class of 2023 star. By the way, his uncle, Tolbert Bain, hey, Miami Hurricane.
We're talking about a very, very, very high upside defensive lineman who's not only got superior strength, he's also showing that kind of technique that college coaches really want to see. He's got some advanced hand moves as well from the interior that I've seen getting himself to the quarterback. I mean, it's a nightmare for offensive lineman one-on-one versus Bain. It's just an absolute nightmare, Paul.
And by the way, when we interviewed him, it was earlier, I think it was a couple months ago, he was telling us his weightlifting numbers, very advanced for his age. I mean, he was putting up record lifts. It's very impressive. And by the way, we have our next guest backstage, another star in the making for the class of 2023. I think everybody that follows high school football, that follows recruiting, knows his name. The one and only Santana Fleming. Welcome to the Scoop on the U, Santana. It's an honor to have you back on.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Ross, introduce Santana Fleming to everyone watching right now.
We have got ourselves an elite high upside wide receiver that is going to be playing for one of the premier programs in the nation at American Heritage. I can't wait to see what you got going there, man. I know you're going to shine, especially when the lights are the brightest. That's when you really put it on.
Yes, sir.
Santana, you transferred schools. That when we spoke to you, you were at Carroll City Senior High School. Now you're at American Heritage Plantation, correct?
Yes, sir.
How was that transition for you? You're going to be playing with Coach Earl Little. How excited are you? Because I know you guys have a stacked roster coming up. I mean, you're probably going to be ranked number one in the nation or national. I mean, it's a top 5 ranking high school, no doubt about it. How excited are you to play with all these elite players?
Really excited that we get a chance to display our talent because we got talent all over the field, offense, defense, special teams. So I'm really excited and there's no telling what we could do as far. I feel like we have a national championship team and we're gonna get it done this year for sure.
Absolutely. How's that been bonding with new teammates at American Heritage Plantation? Who have you built a great bond with so far?
To be real with you, so them actually was like my homeboys and friends before I even transferred over there. So I've been playing with them. So it's nothing new. We got a great relationship as far as like me bonding with the team, coaching staff. So but yeah, I'd say the relationship is pretty good all over.
Santana, what have you been working on this offseason? What do you really want to improve at the most to take your game to the next level?
I'll probably say just hitting that turnover speed as far as like see me as a football player. I'm taught to get to my top speed quick. So hopefully I can break for 60, 70 and turn over and be able to like really burn away from dudes. So that's what I'm working on the most right now.
Are you working with any specific trainers to help you out at that?
Yeah, it's actually a trainer. He's a coach out the West. He coach Jaquez Stewart is his son, and he runs a 4.3. So I'm working out with him. I know he'll get me to my goals as far as like running how I want to and switching over my form and turnover and all that. So that's my trainer as of right now.
How's this offseason been for you, Santana? What have you been working on? I know you want to get your 40 down. Anything else? Maybe it's route running, just ball skills. What else have you been working on this offseason?
Um, just as far as like getting my timing now over the new quarterback, that's gonna be big as far as especially down the stretch as playoffs and state championship and hopefully a national championship game. So it's really with him, yeah, me, him, and a couple other receivers. We making sure to go to the park every week, especially in the summer, and just get the time now as far as different routes and different concepts and all that.
Ross, Santana was on campus recently.
Yes.
Santana, how was that? Being with other recruits, being on campus at the University of Miami, how was that experience for you?
It was crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I got the same vibe that I was getting on the phone in person, and that's what I was looking for. A chance to bond with the coaches, see what they have to offer as far as a standpoint for me being on campus, seeing the dorms, the football field, the coaches, and just getting a real vibe from them in person rather than hearing it over the phone. So that was good. Good overall visit.
What was kind of the itinerary? Walk me through kind of you got on campus. Did you meet with wide receivers coach Rob Likens? Did Coach Cooney come up and kind of greet you? Was it Coach Pata? Walk us through that experience.
So I got on campus a little early. Me and quarterback from Miami Central, Q1 Jenkins. So we got on campus probably around 3 because they wanted me, him, and Brandon Ennis there early. So we came. And I met with Coach Likens first. He came up on a little cart, rolled up, shook my hand, shook my dad's hand, this and that. So first thing we did, we went on the tour around the whole school, showing us the facilities. It was a tree that like the colors of the UM colors and all. So he was explaining the history of that. And then he took us to the football indoor facility, which was we was able to dress up and take pictures. So that was good too. So yeah, we went and took pictures, and then that's when the coaches actually took us up there to the second floor. We had a one-on-one talk with everybody, Coach Manny Diaz, Coach Likens, Coach Lashley, Coach Van Dyke. So, so after that, then we was talking about us versus IMG, first game of the year, saying that's going to be the game of the year. It's going to be a kickoff classic, so that's going to be a good game. And, then as we went to the cookout, he was just constantly, like, showing me love, like, just coming in, checking in at the table every now and then. So, yeah.
Santana. There's a comment. We have a good history with another Santana. Also went to Carroll City Senior High School. I know you transferred. But still, you got to show that Carroll City Chief pride. What does that orange and green mean to you? Growing up in Miami-Dade County and watching the Miami Hurricanes play on Saturdays.
It means a lot. Like you said, it's a hometown team. So like I constantly was watching them growing up. Just not seeing them on TV, coming outside, seeing the UM banners on people's cars and all that. So. It means a lot, and knowing that I could have them same people that was watching me grow up, they could be able to come to my home games that's down the street and watch me perform at the college level. So, it's a good feeling knowing that UM is showing me love.
Was there anything about the facilities when you got to tour them that really stood out to you? Anything that was like, wow?
We got a lot of things in progress as far as like building new facilities. He showed me the new dorms. The dorms go crazy. We was up there with a couple of former and current players that was just came in from the 21 class that I got built bonds with, and them was real nice. And I knew the indoor facility was always nice considering I had played there 2 years ago, or I camped there for a camp. So yeah, them are the two things right there that stood out the most to me. And they got a lot of more buildings getting knocked down and getting new stuff in there. So yeah, them two right there.
What kind of advice did Coach Likens give you that can help you as you go through this recruitment process?
Just to take it all in, get on every school and see what they got to offer. And he was telling me that you would be the right fit for me. It's the hometown team. He just got there, but he was telling me about all the NFL production he done put out over the years. So it was the main 2 points he kept hitting on throughout the visit.
Santana, you were just on campus at the University of Miami. What's your schedule looking like the rest of the summer? Are you visiting other colleges in the meantime?
Yes, sir. So as of right now, for this week, I'm actually free, but I'm planning to go to Florida State, the in-state schools.
Okay.
Try to get out there to Rutgers, because Rutgers is showing me
Ooh, it's going to be cold probably. It's still going to be cold up there.
Yeah, I already know. Um, Oregon, that was my dream school growing up, so I definitely want to get out there to Oregon. It's just across the country, so ain't as easy as I'm trying to make it seem. But and probably TCU. TCU is probably another school I try to get out to. Yeah, everything
Okay.
else. Oh, and Bama. I got Bama June 25th through the 27th. Yeah,
Hey, we had Rueben Bain Jr. on. I know you know Ruben. You're on campus with him, probably chopping it up
yeah,
when you came. But I told him, hey, if you're getting recruited by Oregon, Alabama, all these great programs, I think it just says how talented you are and how many great things you're going to do at the next level. And that's what we believe, Santana, when we see your game. I know Ross speaks very highly of you, man. So it's pretty impressive, local talent like yourself getting recruited by all these programs. I think it's very humbling, and I think it shows, man, just how talented you're going to be. And I know you're going to be a star at the next level.
yes, sir. Appreciate you.
What's the expectation, Santana? American Heritage Plantation. Some players say win a state title. What do you think?
So the goal is to win national. It's a national title. We talk about it, we preach it every day. And that's the
Love it.
standard. That's the standard in the weight room, on the football field. We even got a group chat for like all the 2023. So that's a constant reminder. Like that's the goal of the year. Like we got the team to win state. We got the team to make a deep playoff run. But I feel like we could do something bigger than that, like you said, which is winning the national championship. We got the team to do it, the players to do it, the coaches to do it. So yeah, we're in a good position to do that.
Santana, I'm curious here. What kind of stat goals do you have for yourself this next season in American Heritage? What do you want to put up?
Um, okay, so off about 600 last year, and I was on the Corona year. So I'm gonna go for probably about 20 year, about 850 at least 10 to 12 touchdowns, 45 catches at least. And now there's just like as far as like ego goes, I want to like at least make 5, 6 people fall this year. Feel stiff on a couple of people. But yeah, them the main goals like for like states, playoffs, nationals, everything else gonna handle itself as long as I'll do my part and my team come along with it.
Man, I know American Heritage is going to love having you there. I mean, we see how much work you put in, and I'm sure your coaches see it as well. And I have no doubt about it, with the elite upside you have and that work you put in combined, you are going to meet those goals, Santana. You are going to get to where you want to get to.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Santana. My last question. This isn't really a question. I think it's just to tell the viewers watching right now. We have over 70 people watching us live. Anyone who doesn't know you, what do you have to tell them about Santana Fleming, American Heritage wide receiver?
I'm a dog. It's on the tape. Pretty obvious. Like you can't see me playing in person. You can come see us play against IMG. I'm approving. I'm a dog. Feel like it's not a lot of receivers like me. So I'm definitely a talented receiver that could possibly get in the future. And just be on the lookout, man. I ain't really gonna say too much. Y'all could come watch me. I'm more of a real life. If you come see me play in person, I ain't gonna rock and tell people, I'm this and that, how some of these other people be doing.
Hey, I will definitely try to get out there when IMG plays American Heritage Plantation, man.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna bring my popcorn, right?
Yes,
Santana's gonna put on the show. Roz, you got anything else for the next star of the game of football?
Nah, man. I just really appreciate you giving us this time, Santana. I mean, I know our fans love hearing from you. I get questions about you all the time, bro, like all the time. So I know they loved hearing this.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Hey, it was a pleasure, Santana. Thank you. Take care.
Okay. All right.
Santana Fleming. I'm telling you, this is probably going to be the headline star of the class of 2023. One of the best wide receivers out there. Now, we had two 2023 elite recruits. Ross, we have a very talented wide receiver backstage. You want to introduce him?
Yes. This is one of my favorite wide receiver recruits in the 2022 class. This is Sean Wilson from New York. He's championing all the way from up the East Coast with this.
What's going on, guys?
Sean, what's going on, man? How you doing
I'm
this
doing
evening?
good. How you guys?
Doing great, man. It's a pleasure to have you on. Sean, kind of give a brief intro to everyone watching right now. What high school you attend? What schools right now are you looking at?
Hi guys, what's up? I'm Sean Wilson, class 22, like they said. From New York, born and raised. Been there my whole life. I live in the Queens, Long Island area. If any of you guys know where that is, that's where I live. Right now, I attend Christ King High School, but I'm kind of in a transitioning process, so looking for my senior year due to some things behind the scenes, but that's nor here nor there. Mainly, I'm looking for a school that's just gonna accept me for who I am, and just show me a lot of love. I like when coaches are upfront. I like when they be straightforward with me. So they might not tell me I don't start, but they're gonna tell me they're gonna give me a shot and give me a chance to just get work and just get an opportunity. And that's what I really like. I like when coaches are honest because I feel like it's genuine. Another thing I'm looking forward is for education, of course, because let's say I don't go to NFL, I want to have a great education because what was the point of going to college without education? So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
How's that relationship been with the University of Miami? I know you're in New York. Miami in the past, they've recruited Jason Blissett, Jared Harrison Hunt, Adam El Gamal, 3 players from the New York area. Have you been in contact with Miami? How's that kind of relationship?
I've been in contact with Coach Petit on and off a few couple of days. You guys send me a lot of mail, which I love it. It's always nice and it's come cool. They were trying to get me come to Miami camp because they want to see me in person due to my spring season not going too well, only having 3 games. So
Right.
It really didn't showcase what my skill set was really good, and I feel like that was too. So they kind of want me to get down and camp in Miami and see me like really work one-on-one and just how I'm coachable and stuff.
What offers do you have right now from other programs that are actively speaking with you?
Currently, I narrowed down my recruitment to a few schools, so I'm mainly talking to Pitt, UMass, Buffaloes, Virginia, kind of schools in my region as of right now. So that's why I really narrowed it down. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sean, let our fans know, what kind of player are you? How do you describe your game?
Of course, I'm 6'5", so people would think I'm just that big target. But I would like to say the most, I think I favorite my game is my route running. Being 6'5", you don't really see enough good route runners. You see you guys run goals, fades, slants. So I take pride in my route running because being at 6'5", people want to know if you could bend, get small, because all the fast guys do all these quick and outbreaking routes. So that's what I favor the most. And being that's my weakest strong suit because I got hands and I could not go get the go ball. So I just favor route running, getting in and out breaks, double moves like that. So and showing I got good mobility with my hips.
Man, love that answer, Sean. Absolutely love it. Do you have any favorite players that you like to watch or study their game to help you take your game to the next level?
I would say I would compare my size and frame to Julio, but I take pride in watching Jerry Jeudy. That's my favorite receiver as of right now.
One of the best route runners that's ever been, bro. That's a great guy to look up to.
Sean, being from the Northeast, what college football programs did you look up to growing up?
Me, when I used to play football games when NCAA was still out with my father, I fell in love with Oregon because that was the standard of the uniforms. It always caught my attention, But as I started to grow older, I started to really like Alabama, how they program organized, and how they just really carry themselves. So I looked up to that, but I know where I want to go. I just want to go somewhere that's going to fit me. So it's not about how big the university is. It's how if the coaches want you, I go where you want it.
100%. Now, Sean, you've been speaking with a lot of great schools. University of Miami growing up as a football player growing up from Pop Warner all the way to high school. What was that outside perspective you had from the University of Miami being all the way in New York?
They just really like the fact that I really work hard and that being from New York, people don't think New York could play football. They just think New York is a basketball state. And for Miami to come out their own backyard to New York to even give me a chance, I'm grateful for that because not people really want to take a chance on New York people. So I just favor the fact that even got a chance to look at me, and I'm grateful for that, for Miami just even consider looking at me.
Just going to name some receivers that attend the University of Miami. Michael Irvin, Reggie Wayne, Andre Johnson.
Andre Johnson, yeah, that's a big one.
That's all I got to say, right?
Yeah.
Sean, I'm curious. I know that you guys had an odd season with COVID and all that going on this last year. What kind of stats are you going to put up this next season? What are your goals?
I'm aiming for 1,000-yard season. Now that I'm probably interested, probably know where I'm going. Is a great quarterback there. He has a strong arm, like my former quarterback Noah. So I'm really excited. I really want 1,000-yard season because that will really set the standpoint and show what I've really been working towards. And I'm aiming for 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, and probably a couple special team plays, here and there.
Man, that's great, man. That's great. Do you play any other sports?
I used to play basketball up to 8th grade until I really started working on my craft for football. I run track, but being that it was COVID, they didn't really allow track to really fully therapy and all that. So I was really focused on football. And track was my second strong suit of sort.
Just curious, what do you perform at track?
I perform mainly in a relay and 100. So we would do like 200 relay, 100, 4x1 relay. And I used to be the anchor and just end off my team.
Sean, what are going to be some, factors when you decide which school you're going to attend for the next 3 to 4 years that are going to play a big role? I know you mentioned education, maybe it's facilities, playing time.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of factors are going to play a big impact on your decision?
Definitely. Like I said earlier, education. And just I want to know if they have great alumni and how they work with the kids after college. And if you could get them a job or not, and if it'll be a good job. Because, some kids after school, they probably go back to the wrong route, and that's not where I want to be. You know what I mean? So I feel like how they help you and get you on your feet after school, also playing, great facilities where I can feel like I'm getting the best of the best treatment, all the right nutrients, all that for my body. So I feel like that's what's really going to where I decided I want to go for school.
Absolutely. Ross, did you have another question for Sean?
Actually, yeah. I heard you mention Oregon. I'm curious. Has Oregon given you an offer?
Yeah, they have. But I really looked directly. I really started looking at them because they picked up a few recruits. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to just go a different direction.
I'll tell you what, if Oregon comes across the country
to
recruit you, you got to be a very talented player. And I'm excited to see you play at the next level, Sean.
Of course,
wherever you end up. I'm very intrigued. I know you're going to be a star at the next level. So, man, it really was a pleasure to get to know you. And I think you have a high, ceiling for you on and off the football field. The way you carry yourself, I can tell you're going to do great things, whether it's playing the game of football or just, career-wise, entering the real world, man. I really am impressed.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Ross, anything else for our main man, Sean Wilson?
Man, Sean, just thanks for tapping in with us, man, and thanks for letting the Canes fan base really get to know you. You're a player that a lot of the fans haven't got a chance to really get familiar with yet, and we really wanted to help that process go forward because I think you're a special player, man. I really do.
Of course, thank you, man. I appreciate everything you say.
Last thing, Sean.
Thank you guys. I want to say thank you for taking my time out of the day. It really means a lot. So you guys give me this opportunity to show who I really am. So that's why I'm really thankful.
Now, Sean, before you go, we got over 70 people watching. You got to tell them one thing about Sean Wilson that they don't know, whether you're a dog, something about you, man.
I would say one thing they don't know. I would say I'm really a homebody. I don't go outside the parties. I just stay true to home, and I'm a mama's boy, so that's really what it is. Yeah.
If we see an offer from Rutgers, man, we know you're going there, right?
Thank you guys, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. All right, Sean, take care.
You too, guys.
Sean Wilson, everyone, class of 2022. Ross, I know you went out of your way. You evaluated Sean Wilson. What did you like about Sean Wilson's game that he brought to the table?
And it's something that he mentioned himself, actually. At 6'5" and at the age he's at, the attention he's paid to running routes shows up on the field. It really does. It really impressed me to see a guy like that not just rely on his physical traits only, because a lot of guys do that in high school because they can win that way. He's already looking to the next level. He's looking to be the next best player that he can be every single week, it seems like. And he's a workaholic, man. Every time I'm done talking to him, he's just leaving the gym or he's just leaving training or a workout. He is a high upside guy at 6'5" with superior length, great jumping ability. He could be not just a red zone target, he could be a main target all the way throughout the field.
He's got an offer from Oregon. They came across the country for him. He's talking to Miami. How is that relationship, you think, with Miami picking up late? I thought that was very interesting. I know we mentioned, Jaden Gibson, another tall wide receiver target. We interviewed Anthony Morrow. That's coming out shortly. Who you think is going to get a Miami Hurricanes offer shortly. Do you think our next commit at the wide receiver position is going to be a more taller projectile size around that 6'5", 6'4" range?
I do, Paul. I really do. And it's not just because of the offers we have right now. The offers in 2023 point to that as well. We're looking to add that size that we simply haven't had. And not just the height. We're looking to add the length that goes along with it. And the superior athleticism that you want to see from guys of that size. We're really going for we're swinging for the fences on these ones here, Paul. These are some really fantastic, high upside, tall wide receivers.
Absolutely. Ross, before our next guest comes in about 8 minutes from now, that was the kind of the set time. I want to ask you, someone asked me in a chat from our previous video. By the way, guys, if you haven't seen my Corn Elder breakdown or the podcast, go check that out. The return breakdown. It was very cool kind of getting inside what happened play by play. We just had Omar Graham Jr. on the show and some elite class of 2023 recruits as well. So go check that out yesterday. Who do you think are going to be the next commits coming up for this class? Now, Kamari Rogers just got a crystal ball by David Lake from 24/7 Sports. Do you have a hunch? What do you think?
I'm really, you know how I feel about Kamari, and I'm feeling really good about our chances, Paul. I feel really, really good. From everything that I've heard about his visit, we made a great impression, not just on him, but his family as well. There's also another guy that we've spoken about before as well that had a fantastic visit, was Malik Ogbo. Remember, Graham said right out of his mouth, he thought Ogbo was going to commit on site. He thought he was actually already a Canes player by the way he was acting. So to have our coaches make that bond with a kid all the way from South Seattle, he's about 30 minutes south of Seattle, to have that bond all the way across the country and to have his family really appreciate it as well, bro, huge for us. Absolutely huge.
Listen, if we get Kamari Rogers, we get Malik Agbo, the ball is going to be rolling. I'm telling you what, we're going to land Wesley Bassett. I'm very confident in that. Okay, I'm very confident. This could turn out to be a very nice class. Plus, we got Bear Alexander. Is he visiting tomorrow?
If it's not tomorrow, it's sometime soon. Yeah.
Bear Alexander's visiting after he decommitted from Georgia. We got Shamar Stewart, just got a crystal ball by Steve Wiltfong, the national recruiting director of 24/7 Sports. Okay? Now, it wasn't the highest score, but still. And he's got to visit other programs. But I think this really was a nice setup to have the cookout. It was a lot better than Florida State's little week, and I'll tell you that. Okay? I hate picking on Florida State all the time, but listen, the tide is turning. I think Coach Manny Diaz and this staff is doing a great job, and they're really showing their true colors.
This staff has made such a fantastic impression so soon on elite players. These aren't just good players we're talking about. We're talking about elite talent, guys that are coveted by all the major colleges across the nation for the most part. To have this kind of hype and this kind of momentum building up after these visits so soon, and with these next visits we got coming up as well, it really shows me that we've got a really solid coaching staff that really knows about recruiting and really wants to recruit.
Kenyatta Jackson was just interviewed by Rivals. He said Miami needs a lot more work. 4-star recruit defensive lineman Chaminade Madonna, Broward County. Man, that would be another nice get as well, but he's a highly touted recruit. And when we had the crib on, okay, he even said, look, Shamar Stewart, they're on the outside looking in. I don't even know about Kenyatta Jackson. It is what it is. That's the situation. I would rather take Shamar Stewart. I would love both. Don't get me wrong, but like Shamar Stewart is the priority because he's in Opelika, Florida. He's literally in Miami-Dade County, your backyard. So is Broward County. But if you had to take one, you got to go with Shamar Stewart. But Kenyatta Jackson's another great pick.
And, you know, that hype with Shamar Stewart, it was not something I was expecting, Paul. Sure, I was expecting to hear he had a good visit, you know, and he enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting to hear all the extra stuff, the extra good stuff. And to have Wiltfong even make that low-level crystal ball for him really tells me that there's something cooking there, man. Really tells me that.
100%. Ross, any other recruits we have not mentioned so far before our next guest that you want to touch up on to keep their eyes out for?
Yeah, we are tight end U, so I want you guys to definitely keep an eye out for 2022 tight end Anthony Jones, and keep an eye out for Jaleel Skinner. It's still up for debate whether he's going to play a jumbo wide receiver or if he's going to play tight end. He is capable of both, and he is a fantastic player with high upside.
I know when we recruited Anthony Jones, he was talking to us, he was excited before he visited campus. What kind of tight end to tell people is Anthony Jones? I know he offers well. They're very high on him. Tell everyone watching a little bit about Anthony Jones.
Very athletic, very strong. He plays a lot of defensive end, which has really, I'm not going to say it's forced him to keep his strength up, but it's really motivated him to keep his strength up. He's very light on his feet for a guy his size with his strength as well. To me, there is a debate still from some colleges that might see him at defensive end. I personally see him as all tight end all the way, and I'm honestly surprised he's only a 3-star recruit. I personally have him as a very solid 4-star recruit.
Well, I'll tell you what, the next recruit we have going on, he's a very talented player, another local product from Miami-Dade County. Ross, go ahead and introduce him to all the viewers watching.
We have got class of 2023 running back Ryan Bullard from Miami Killian High School.
Ryan, welcome to the scoop, man. Welcome back.
What's up?
Good, man. I love that sweater you're wearing.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, how was the cookout, man? How was this past week and being on campus?
The cookout was good. I got to see the coaches, and we were talking a little bit, and we just had fun out there.
Who did you bond with, with other recruits that were there with that you kind of had a good relationship with and became friends?
With the coaches or the players?
Yeah, players.
Oh, the players. I got some players from down here where I stay at. They went out there with me. I know them. I know a couple of people that was there too.
Ryan, did you get a chance to really get to know some of the Miami coaches? And if you did, who was it?
Now, we ain't really get to, talk to no coaches because they just want us to come out there for the cookout.
What was it that you got to experience during the cookout? What was something special for you that really stood out?
And we saw, the players that's at the U now, they telling us, how it is. We saw the new dorms they made for them and stuff like that.
Ryan, growing up in Miami, who are your favorite players at the running back position?
I really like Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook?
Yeah.
Miami Central. Gotta love it, man. What about Dalvin Cook that you like that may be similar to your game?
He just from where I'm from. We from Miami. I just love how he play and run the ball.
Love it, man. How about any Miami Hurricane running backs? Lamar Miller, you got Frank Gore, Edgerrin James.
Frank Gore. I used to look up to Frank Gore when I was little too. Coming from the U, same place where I'm from.
What's the expectation this upcoming season at Miami Killian for you?
The expectation. I really want us to go out there and have fun, play ball, and hopefully win the championship this year.
Love it.
Ryan, what kind of stats did you put up this last season?
And last year, I had 6 or 7 touchdowns with 500 rushing yards. It was a short season, so I couldn't really do what I wanted. I had to share a ball with 3 people in the backfield. So, I couldn't really do what I do. This year, it's going to be a whole lot different.
So this upcoming season, are you going to start getting the majority of the touches in the backfield?
Yeah. I'm rushing for 1,000 this year. Take it back to freshman season.
So 1,000 yards is the goal. How many touchdowns you want to put up? We lost him for just a sec there.
Hello?
Oh,
We
how
got
many
you.
touchdowns do you score this upcoming season, Ryan? I think we lost connection with Ryan for now. Ryan, can you hear us? Nah, we lost connection.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring him back. All right, we lost connection with Ryan. Let's see if it works. But in the meantime, kind of break down Ryan Bullard's game to anyone who's new to him, because he's going to be an elite class of 2023 recruit.
He is a speed back. He has got the some of the quickest footwork I've seen from a guy his age at that position. I mean, lightning quick. And these aren't just casual moves. These are decisive moves. One cut runner that wants to get up and make big plays and get big runs. Ryan Bullard is a home run running back. There's no doubt about it.
You heard that, Ryan? I think he's still audio's out, man. But I think Ryan heard that and he agrees. He's a home run running back. He's gonna be the next Dalvin Cook. But anyways, you got to show up. Lamar Miller went to Miami Killian. You got to show up. Jaquan Johnson went there. Sean Taylor's underclassmen years before he transferred to Gulliver. If you go to Miami Killian, you got to be a star. And Ryan Bullard, he's going to be a star, not only in high school, but at the next level. I'm curious, what other schools, Ross, that you've seen have offered Ryan?
Man, he's got, quite a few, actually. I'm trying to pull him off the top of my head here. Let me, I don't want to say anything that might not be true, so I just want to make sure here. But I know that the local schools, like Florida, have definitely been at him. I know Nebraska, Ole Miss, I want to say Maryland also had extended him an offer as well. He has got some quality colleges going after him. And I think after this next season that he has, he's only going to get more and more offers, because they're going to see that speed. And like he said, he's going to start getting those main touches in the backfield. That's where you're really going to see, extra big offers come in. And I want to, before I move on from his offers, I don't want to forget, he has got a Texas A&M offer as well, and a Tennessee offer, and I believe Penn State too. So he's got some quality offers.
He's going to be a Power 5 star. I guarantee you. I cannot wait to see what program he chooses. It's going to be next class, because he's class of 2023. I hope he ends up in the orange and green, but wherever he attends, he's going to be a star at the next level. Ryan Bullard, Miami Killian Senior High School. He's got the Miami sweater on. I wish we can hear him right now. Audio's out, but it was a pleasure to have Ryan on, man. Hey, man, we wish we could hear him. We appreciate it, Ryan. He's trying to talk. Hey, Ryan, we're going to cut you loose, but we'll get you back soon. Don't worry. Ryan Bullard, everyone. He's going to be a star at the next level.
Yes.
All right, Ross. I got 10 minutes before I got my guy on, talking some De'Aaron King breakdown. Anything else you want to add regarding recruiting before we move on to the next guest on the show?
Man, just a special batch of players that we've been able to touch base with lately, and some just extremely high quality football players in general. The one thing that I'm really noticing about our staff is they've got the attention from the 3-star guys they want, they've got the attention from the 4 stars, and they're starting to pick it up from the 5 stars. They're really identifying the players they want and going after them.
Absolutely, man. I think, this whole offseason, we were talking about, developing an elite staff, and this was a better staff we've had in quite a while. I think hopefully it's starting to show, and, we'll pick up steam for this upcoming season, and, we'll land some big ones. And I know class of 2023 as well, that's going to be huge. You just got to keep building, keep winning football games at the end of the day. Now, I got to ask you, Ross, right now, Miami, I think it's a 19-point underdog against Alabama. Do you think Miami will do better than that?
I sure hope so, Paul. I sure hope so, because we both know how big that would be for us. You know, you don't ever want to sit there and say, oh, well, if we lose a game, it'll still be good for us. But in this instance, if we are competitive versus Alabama, it will show that we are on the right path. We might not be fully ready to beat Bama yet, but if we show that we are getting things together, especially in the trenches, if we battle with them 4 quarters, defensive line, offensive line, offensive line, defensive line, and we make that happen and we show them that we can actually battle, it's going to pick up some attention from players, and they're going to go, hey, man, Miami's actually making some moves, and they got the right staff now.
Anthony Manzano asked, Ross, when you're looking at Bear Alexander and Leonard Taylor, who do you think is better? Ask me at the defensive tackle position. They're both very good. I mean, that's a very tough question because one is going to be in college as a true freshman. The other one is still in high school. I think they're both very elite, but maybe you can break it down.
You know, they got some different qualities. You know, a lot of the talk with Bear Alexander is, you know, being just solely a one-tech guy. But I believe that there are ways that we can fit him into our system. There's no doubt about it on our defensive line. As of right now, maybe it's just the Miami homer in me. But I think Taylor actually has the higher upside. I really do. I think he will actually prove to be more of an impact player in college.
Interesting. I'm very curious how his career pans out. I'm expecting big things, but you know, there's been a lot of hype about him coming out of high school. I know he'll do great things. I'm just curious, you know, if it'll be an instant impact player game one, you know, maybe his freshman year. When will be the instant impact is very difficult to do as a freshman. So I'm curious. And, you know, how are snaps kind of distributed? Is he going to be starting from day one? We saw with Rousseau. It took a little while. I know Patchen got most of the starts his redshirt freshman year, but, you know, we'll see what happens with Leonard Taylor. How much, in your guys' opinions, have when Mark Richt's staff went to local parks has helped local recruiting, if any? I'll be honest, Mark, I can answer that question. You can go to local parks and that's great, but you got to win football games, okay? There's a bunch of programs who go to local parks and communities. At the end of the day, if you don't win football games, that's all that matters, okay? If you're a loser and you're playing 500 football, people recognize that, okay? It's not that relationship you built with them at the park. Yeah, he was a nice guy. Oh, I met him the other day. They were shooting basketball with us. Oh, great guy. Great, you know, great coach. Such a nice guy. I would love to play for him. But you know what? They're not winning football games. That means your job stability isn't there, okay? And you're not winning. You're not successful. Are they developing their players? No, they're not. So you know what? Those things factor in as well, but you got to win football games at the end of the day.
I absolutely agree, Paul. I mean, you can do all the little stuff and you can make all the off-season relationships you want to do. And we've seen what happens when you do off-season hype and don't have it carry through to the season. It hurts you. Recruits start looking the other way because they're going to go, okay, if they're going to come out this next off-season and say the same thing they did last year about how they're competing for championships at Miami and come here if you want to be the best team in Florida. Well, eventually you got to start showing that you are the best team in Florida.
Ross, I got my next guest coming in. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for setting up this great show with all this tremendous talent, man. Once again, if you don't know Ross, where can the good people find you?
Find me on Twitter at NorthFreshCane, man. I'm there actively all the time, and I'm talking with fans all the time. If you got questions, hit me up.
All right, Ross. It's always a pleasure, man. Thank you again for your time.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, my next guest, National Recruiting Director of RNG Sports. He also works for Athlon Sports as well. He just interviewed D'Eriq King. Ryan Wright, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing well, Ryan. It's a pleasure to have you on. It really is an honor to take time out of your schedule to come on the scoop.
No worries.
Ryan, you interviewed D'Eriq King. You were one of the very few to be given that opportunity. What was your experience like with D'Eriq King, and where was the event at for all the viewers who did not know?
He was great. He actually came right up to me and shook my hand and introduced himself, which was a surprise. I wasn't expecting that. But, yeah, he was great. He was fantastic, charismatic, down to earth. We were at the Steve Clarkson QB retreat, which was held in Santa Monica, California. That was not last weekend, but the weekend before last. And, yeah, I mean, he was fantastic, fun to talk to. off camera, we talked a little bit about the 2021 season, how they might be getting ready already for Alabama, watching some game film and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So also got to talk to him a little bit about one of the guys that I was his first interview, and that's Jake Garcia, who is a 2020 Miami Hurricanes, QB signee. So we got to talk about him a little bit. So it was fun. So we got to talk football, and he was talking, which we ended up putting in the interview, about his love for bowling.
Really?
So,
okay, I didn't know
yeah.
that. Okay.
So
Very cool.
yeah, that's what all we talked about. So it was wide spanning. It was cool.
Now I gotta ask, was Derek King working out at the event at all, or was it more of just kind of a place to just kind of be seen and just maybe go through the motions, some throwing?
Yeah, it was more through the motions. So the
Okay.
college coaches were there as mentors. So the setup of it, and I don't know how much Steve Clarkson put into it, but it seemed like he must have put $100,000 into the event because it was nice. They had cabanas everywhere, but they called them QB cabanas.
Okay. Cool.
And so they had couches inside, and there must have seemed maybe like 30 that lined the field where we were at. And then not only that, but then they had this tarp up around the field so you couldn't see in. So it was a very private situation. They had one of the, if you've seen it on TV, if it makes sense to have the British tour bus, the double decker with the top off. So when you go around, so they had one of those that they had painted with the Steve Clarkson thing all the way around. So, I mean, they really went all out. So it was really nice. So the event had college QB mentors, which Derek King was one of them, then high school players, and then they had some youth guys there. And it was a star-studded college quarterback.
Yeah, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young was there, interviewed DJ, who's the starting quarterback now at Clemson. Boise State starting quarterback was there, and Bachmeyer. I got to interview him or DJ in a while. Ryan Helinski was at South Carolina now. Northwestern was there. Yeah. McLaughlin, keeping in the ACC from NC State, was there.
Yep.
I'm trying to rack my Sam Howell was there from North Carolina. I'm trying to keep it ACC the best that I can. But
hey, that's a great list right there. I've been watching Aaron McLaughlin from high school. That kid's got a cannon of an arm. Sam Howell, in my opinion, it's either going to be him or Spencer Rattler, first QB off the board. I love Bryce Young. I think all around, he's a very elite quarterback. Ryan, what are your thoughts about Derek King as a quarterback?
I mean, I don't know what kind of breakdown you want. So, I mean, he has a great arm. And so to prepare for today, I went back to kind of refresh myself some of the stuff from the 2020 season. Absolutely. When he has that pocket and he can step into it, got a gun for an arm. And then one of the other things I noticed was the progression. This goes with the play calling, where they were running some pistol and some spread. And, how well he holds the play fakes to bring the safeties in when he was hitting the seam. That was more earlier in the season. Then they started hitting the corner shots kind of around the NC State game. And I think that was the Mallory breakout game, if I remember correctly as well, the tight end. And one of the things that I noticed with him with the arm is that, so he has the gun and he's accurate. He's in the spot, and you don't see a lot of, like maybe with Johnny Manziel, where he was throwing to Evans and Evans was making these amazing, athletic plays to bring the ball down. Derek King's putting it, where he needs to within his guys. And he works in the middle of the field, like I said, with the seam. So I think a lot about that. One thing with Derek King, because he's so athletic, you love to have a quarterback that can run for 100 yards, but you don't want your quarterback to run for 100 yards if you don't have to, right? So I'd love to see some of that pressure taken off of him. So went into the Clemson game. I mean, he had a big shot going into the end zone and stuff like that. And he's so talented and special and gifted. You just don't want to see him taking those shots if you don't have to.
No, I 110% agree. I get what you're saying. He tore his ACL against Oklahoma State, and a lot of people were saying, are we going to see Derek King more mobile this upcoming season? Is he going to be more timid with the football? Where do you think Derek King thrives offensively? I know we just mentioned, you can run for 100 yards. Where do you think Derek King thrives as a college football quarterback to be put in the best positions to succeed his football team to a victory?
Well, I think the thing for Miami would be running the ball. And so you would know more about this, as somebody that covers Miami all the time. But, Harris averaged over 5 yards a carry last year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But he's only averaging like 11 touches per game. And so I think
Yes.
you want
Thank
your
you.
feature. Yeah, you want your feature back. You want somebody that can, you would think at least 15, but 20 to 25 in the big
Thank
games
you.
where you can give it to him. Yeah, and he can carry the load. So that would be the big thing I think that would help Derek King. So, I mean, I don't know that there's going to be a drop off at tight end. You have your leading receiver back and some of the other great guys from the 2020 class that are kind of the 4-stars that are coming through. So, yeah, I mean, I think he has weapons around him. I think he does a great job of holding the play fakes, looking at his reads, throwing across the middle. So, I mean, I just think he's in great position to succeed. Is really just, the offensive line, how they come together and gel. How well the defense plays. You don't want a North Carolina event again, like last year, which was crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think he's in a great position to succeed. I don't know if I answered your question fully, but I mean, I think has all the tools. He's got talent around him. I just think the Miami needs a better run game.
Well, I love your response too, because you stated why is leading yards per carry Cam Harris. He averages over 5 yards per carry, let's say. Why is he only getting 11 carries per game? Why isn't he getting to that 20 to 25 mark as the leading rusher? And that's something I've always been preaching. Why not give the carries to a majority running back? And Ryan, that leads me to my next question. What's your perspective on Rhett Lashley's offensive scheme? And as an offensive coordinator at Miami, are you a fan of what he brings to the table? Because it seems like it's an up-tempo spread offense. But, there are times where I question, like, why aren't you giving it to a premier running back the majority of the carries? Why aren't you utilizing the tight ends more? And I want to pick your brain because you're not a Miami Hurricanes fan. You cover college football. You cover the game of football as well. So you bring that outside perspective.
So from what I remember from last year, I thought that the offense looked really good, and I saw a progression in the play calling. So again, it was early in the season, the seams going across the middle with the RPO, where Derek King was holding the ball, bringing the safeties down, and then popping it down the seam to either one of the tight ends. And then later in the season, was Harley, starting a little more to the corners and stuff like that, and exploiting that. So, some of it I'd have to go back and really dig into the different defenses and what they're seeing, the different coverages and stuff like that. But they seem to be ready. I don't have a problem with it. I think year two, given the special circumstances and going back to again, I think it was an NC State game, 13 guys out, a whole slew of starters as well. I can't remember exactly how many. So I still think that everything is building as it should be, and to have that 8-3 campaign after 6-7, that's great. I mean, I know they didn't finish strong the way they wanted to, but yeah, I mean, everything's building, and I think it's progressing in a positive way.
Now, they did finish 8-3, first game of the year next season. You got the Alabama Crimson Tide. Someone said it was the evil empire, Nick Saban. He's not going anywhere. He just got his 8-year extension, or is it $8.75 million? He's going to be here for a while. What do you think about that matchup? It's very interesting. First game of the season. Alabama's got a new starting quarterback, Bryce Young. Bill O'Brien's taken over. They even have a new offensive line coach. What's your perspective on that matchup, game one?
If going back to, was it 93 when they last met on the field of the championship game, I think it was. Yeah, I think it's going to be another one of those type of things. And if there was a time for Miami to get Alabama on the schedule, it'd be this year. So as you mentioned, I think they only have one starter back on the offensive line at Bama. So you have the Heisman Trophy winner at receiver that's gone. You have two other finalists in the quarterback, and Mac Jones, and then Najee Harris, the running back, that are gone. Alabama recruits really well. They will be good at some point, but you have to think on offense with the things that you mentioned, the new offensive coordinator, all these different elements, that maybe their offense won't be up to par yet. That defense is going to be championship caliber defense. So that's just my 2 cents on that. That's is going to be kind of that throwback where I think their defense will carry them through the first part of the year until everything kind of gets going. I think in the SEC West, it's going to be a typical kind of year. LSU is going to be loaded. I know this isn't what you talked about, and I'm going off on a tangent, but in the SEC West, it's going to be those two teams. I don't know that Bama, if they were to face a team like LSU early in the year, would be ready, and it's going to be very interesting. Point being, because Miami is talented, and it's a neutral site game to see how that plays out because they are vulnerable. In my opinion. I don't know if they're vulnerable enough to lose with that defense, but offensively they are vulnerable.
Yeah, I think the spread right now is 19 points is the difference for that first game of the season. So I'm very curious how Miami plays. They didn't do well against North Carolina, like you previously stated. They did awful against Clemson as well. They're very heavily penalized. Do you think Miami has a shot at competing for the ACC title game, or do you think North Carolina is the favorite in the Coastal and Clemson just owns the conference?
I think it's going to be exciting. So, I mean, what can Mac Brown? I've not broken down North Carolina where they're at. As a team, they obviously have a lot of offensive firepower. I think one of the things when you get a team like that, you have a whole offseason for these college programs, the DCs to start breaking down what they're doing, what they're missing, and get used to the tendencies and what they were seeing. I don't know, want to go back to the Steve Clarkson camp, but I was talking to another starting quarterback from an SEC school that was there, and he had a really bad game against another team, and he said that's pretty much all he's been doing this offseason is going over seeing 7 and 8 drop back in coverage. And so my point to that is, these guys are getting ready. And when I talked to Derek King, he's already watching film on Alabama and preparing. So I'm sure that the coordinators and the staff is getting ready for North Carolina, seeing what they could have done better. I'm going back and watching film and getting ready. So
quick question.
I don't know. I think it's going to be fun though. It's going to be fun. That's why we love the game, right?
I'm curious as well. I don't know. I mean, Mac Brown, he's a hell of a coach. Sam Howell, like I said, I think he'll be one or the second quarterback off the board this upcoming season. I love him as a quarterback, so I'm curious as well as it pans out. They have a great running back returning, Ty Chandler, coming from Tennessee, their leading rusher. Then you got Clemson, who I lost count how many times they won the ACC title. Was it 6, 7, 8? I mean, they've just been dominating the conference. So, hey, I'm very curious who wins the ACC Coastal. I think if UNC does win the Coastal, they can give Clemson a big fight. So we'll see what happens. Ryan, I want to ask you because people keep asking me about a defensive tackle from USC. Now, I'm not trying to put you on the spot if you know this. He entered the portal, Jay Toa. Do you remember him? Because I know you're based out of Southern California. Are you familiar with him and then entering the portal?
Yeah, I knew that he entered the portal. I'm not that familiar with where he was at as a player. So to go into details and specifics on him, I would have to pass on that because I would just kind of be.
Just wanted to clear that because someone kept asking me in the chat. So I was like, listen, I know he's from Southern California, but that's the only connection that I got with both of those guys. Ryan, what's your outside perspective? Coach Manning Diaz, year 3, like you said, he went 6-7, 8-3, some improvement. It's a big year coming up. They got Alabama, Michigan State, even App State's a good little program. University of North Carolina. It's not the easiest schedule. I think there's some tricky games. What's your expectation for these Miami Hurricanes?
Yeah, so I didn't do a breakdown on the win-loss, but so I know that they have that after Alabama, they have the 4-game homestand. Michigan State is not the team that they used to be under Mark D'Antonio, where they were winning 10 games, or more every year. So Mel Tucker had that team 2-5 last year, but they did get 2 wins against top 25 teams, and they stuck it to Michigan. So if you're a Michigan State fan, I guess even a 2-5 season looks pretty good, beating a rival. But I think that's going to be one of the feather in the cap wins for Miami, especially playing at home. So I think there's a rebuild going on at Michigan State again. They haven't been the team that they've been in years past. So that'll look really good. And I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I think the rest of the schedule pretty much goes where they go on the road and they're at home. I don't know that North Carolina State is going to be able, especially going into Lane Stadium last year and winning. I think that's going to be a good game for them, that they'll win. Virginia Tech, they did well against Pitt. So yeah, I mean, I think they have the two tough games, and that being when they face Clemson hopefully, in North Carolina, and they get past Alabama, and if everything goes well, stay away from injuries as it is for every team. That this could be a very high achieving team. So I do think it'll come down to that North Carolina game, as you mentioned. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking at even if they're a 2-loss team going in, they could be in the talk for stuff. You never know how North Carolina is going to play against other teams, and they could still be the representative of the Coastal going against the Atlantic. So
100%. Worst case scenario, we'll bring on Mario Cristobal. He'll come home, right?
yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, no, he's building something there. So yeah, I guess is that the thing in Miami? Wanting Mario Cristobal back?
I mean, that everyone's going to be asking that. I mean, a lot of people love Mario Cristobal. I know you're a West Coast guy. What's going on in Oregon? What Mario Cristobal is building there?
I've met him and been around him. He's really nice, by the way, in person. And there was a camp, not 2020, but 2019, that they held out here and was around him for a little bit, scouting some guys together. Yeah, I mean, they're building stuff. I was surprised that Tyler left. And so their starting quarterback entered the transfer portal, if I remember correctly, and he's at Texas Tech now. Another Pac-12 school, Colorado, just had that. I don't know if you saw that, where Sam Hoyer just entered the portal. So it's kind of a weird time in college football. The game's the same, but so much of everything has changed with the transfer portal and with recruiting. So we'd be going down a whole other avenue. But Oregon has recruited really, really well, and they've recruited Southern California well. The one thing that most people probably don't know or see or think when they think of the Pac-12 is because there's so much feeding on the recruiting trail in California for the Pac-12 and for the Mountain West Conference, there's not enough offensive and defensive linemen to support everything that's going on. So that's what happens when the Pac-12 starts going against the SEC or these other programs that have the big offensive and defensive linemen. That's where Utah did really well in the conference because they had the big offensive linemen. So I think that's the thing that Cristobal has done well at Oregon, and he's been getting 4-star speed guys on the outside. So they're building back up to that level. Losing their starting quarterback, is kind of perplexing. And he's going into his senior year, but yeah, I mean they recruit really well. They get the 5 stars and 4 stars. They're competing against the top guys, against USC and Southern California. So, I mean, he's coming in and stealing, and I know it's upsetting a lot of USC fans. So, it helped not.
Absolutely. No, absolutely, Ryan. Last question before I let you go. I know you talked to a lot of college football coaches. Who are some coaches you see that are their programs are on the rise to look out for this upcoming season?
Wow, on the rise.
Maybe just say a couple, because I know it's a very broad question.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So I don't know if one would consider USC, a program on the rise. I think that they have a lot of pieces. They haven't been themselves as that blue blood in a while. So I think that they're a team to definitely watch. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard. I think a lot of people will probably pick Ole Miss. They have one of the tougher schedules. So does Mississippi State. It's going to be really interesting to see what Mike Leach does with the air raid. But those two programs have a really tough schedule. So I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of a status quo kind of year. I mean, Miami could be that team, right? They're on the cusp.
I hear it every year about that.
Yeah, I don't know that Texas is there. Iowa State has been building.
Yeah.
And if you go back and look what Campbell has done there, I think he's beaten at least 2 top 10 teams. I don't know about last year because of how everything panned out, but he was beating Texas at home and Oklahoma at home and stuff like that. And so that might not be a traditional powerhouse that could do really well this year. But yeah, those are some of the teams. Again, trying to rack my brain that would maybe make that big jump. Arizona State's been building, and they have a good quarterback and some talent. They have a ton of receivers, so we'll see how that goes. But those would be a couple off the top of my head to maybe look out for.
All right. Ryan Wright, National Recruiting Director for RNG Sports, also is a contributor to Athlon Sports. Ryan, where can the good people find you?
So on Twitter, Ryan Wright, RNG, and the website is recruitingnewsguru.com. And as mentioned, I am the de facto SEC West writer for Athlon Sports, covering Arkansas, A&M, Auburn, Alabama, all the programs. So you can catch me there as well.
Love it. Ryan, you going to be in Atlanta for the game? Miami, Alabama?
Oh,
Game
I
one?
wish. But I will be at the finals, the opening finals. I plan on being that coming up. I'm excited about that. I was just at the LA Regional watching some kids though, and at the Steve Clarkson camp.
Nice.
So there are some fun events coming up that I'm really excited about, getting to see more of the top kids from around the country.
All right. Well, we got Jake Garcia coming up, man. So hopefully that's going to be our next Southern California star quarterback. So we'll see.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
Ryan, it was a pleasure to have you on, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
All right. Take care, everyone. Go Canes. All about the youth.